Hello guys. In this video we will talk about the 2016 movie Screening. In the near future, the planet's resources are depleted due to overpopulation. To cope with the crisis, the UN requires countries to reduce 5% of the population annually. In America, students pass the exam every year and all those who do not pass will be executed. The exam is called 10 to 241, but most people call it the dropout. A young girl, Lena, prepares her younger brother Simon for the dropout tomorrow. The teenager is nervous and assures that he will not be able to pass the test even with the help of his sister. The guy offers money, and in return he wants to receive special lenses from the girl, which will allow him to see the solutions of the examples on the exam. Lena accepts the offer, but warns that the lenses must be destroyed immediately after the test. Then the girl receives a call from the hospital. She is informed that the mother of the family is being discharged, despite the recommendations of doctors. Lena asks to detain the woman until she arrives with her younger brother and sister. At the hospital, the doctor says that they are unable to help her mother and asks to create comfortable conditions for her at home, because this is the best thing that can be done. At the governor's residence at night, 12 hours before dropout, Blake passes bodyguards and quietly leaves the house to meet his girlfriend Ellie. The couple are very anxious about the exam and Ellie decides to take Blake for a swim in someone else's pool. Soon the guy is found by bodyguards and taken to his father, who tries to explain to his son that now is not the time for fun because of the exam. The man recalled the consequences and asked Blake not to screw up. 3 hours before screening, students are carefully examined by armed people for the presence of cheat sheets. Simon had previously put on the lens, but was suddenly pushed by another teenager, causing the lens to fall out. The guy fails to find her because of the masked soldier, who demanded that Simon not linger in one place. Meanwhile, Blake asks Lena to sell him a cheat sheet, and the girl refuses, as there are no more lenses left. Soon, an unknown device is found in one of the teenagers, and the guy tries to escape. The military quickly immobilize the runner. All exits from the school are blocked 15 minutes before the start of the exam so that none of the students can escape from the building. Teachers briefly remind you of the rules and allow you to start a 2-hour exam. Teacher Kendra warns that there is only a minute left until the end. The exam ends. The students nervously place their tablets on the table, waiting for their results. The first student who didn't pass is called Donald. He was sitting next to Lena. One of those who failed the test made an unsuccessful attempt to escape, but he was beaten with a baton and taken out of the office. The last to fail was Blake's girlfriend Ellie. The teacher with tears congratulates everyone who managed to pass the test and asks to go to the hall. Blake, having left the office, calls his father to ask him to get Ellie out, but the man is unable to help the girl. Blake uses a fire extinguisher on one soldier and delays the second so Ellie can escape. She is hindered by a crowd of past students and a student who failed the test is taken away by 2 military men. Lena's younger brother was also taken to execution because of a failed test. A year passes and there are 24 hours left until the next screening. Lena works with the kids until her teacher Kendra visits her. A woman treats her family to a casserole and offers her help in getting her younger brother into kindergarten. She also wants to help with the preparation of her younger sister for tomorrow's exam, but Lena assures that everything will be fine anyway. Blake goes in for sports while looking at a joint photo with Ellie. Meanwhile, Blake's classmate Sarah is sleeping with the teacher to help her pass the exam, and Kendra notices this. There are 3 hours left until dropout. Lena escorts her younger sister to her first exam in her life and leaves for her last, and Blake's father apologizes to his son for his inaction when Ellie was taken away. The man explains that he cannot go against the law, but the guy ignoring leaves for the exam. There are 15 minutes left before the test and all exits are closed. Lena's sister's class is shown a cartoon to teach the kids how important it is to get rid of 5% of the population every year for the sake of the planet. Each of the countries reduces the population in different ways, and only in America is it decided to keep the smartest alive. The teachers announce the beginning of the exam, and the students proceed. Meanwhile, Blake's father watches a video recorded by his son. The teenager decides to deliberately fail the exam so that the father, who is so faithful to the system, tries to continue to obey her, despite the fact that it was she who killed his son. The test is coming to an end. The first grade teacher tells the students what to do if their name is called. Sarah, who made love to the teacher for the sake of passing the exam, did not pass the test, and the man without hesitation called her name. Blake was very surprised when the teacher began to congratulate the students, because he was among those who passed. Meanwhile, in another office, Lena was among those who failed the test. Blake's father thanks Manson King for helping him with his son's exam and grants him permission to drop out. Lena and the other students are led away until the teacher intervenes. She informs the masked man that there was probably an error with her best student's testing and asks to take action. The man contacts the authorities, who assure that there can be no mistake. Kendra discreetly passed the key to Lena so that the student would have a chance to escape. The students are forced to take off all their clothes with threats, and Lena discreetly puts the key in her mouth. Meanwhile, students and teachers celebrate their victory. Kendra notices the teacher flirting with the student again. Blake watches a speech by his father, the governor, who reports that they are the most educated state in America. The guy, without waiting for the end of the performance, leaves the party. He penetrates the forbidden territory and, seeing the guards, begins to feign severe pain in order to unexpectedly attack the man. Blake manages to get into the control room and turn off the lights, thus saving Lena and the others from being injected. The emergency light is turned on in the room. Some of the students attack the masked men to save their lives. Lena discreetly uses the key and escapes, but soon the girl is noticed by a guard who is attacked by Blake. He helps a classmate hide in a ventilation shaft. The guy is interested in why the girl was selling exam solutions, and she talks about her sick mother. Despite all the money earned in this way, Lena could not save her. After the conversation, the couple decides to head to the server room. The teachers, meanwhile, are being checked for keys, as the student could only escape with the teacher's key. The governor is informed of strange events at the school. Despite the long-ended exam, the students are still in the building without the right to return to their worried parents. Blake, in an attempt to overtake Lena, falls straight into the pool. The girl, seeing that the guy lost consciousness, jumps after him. She pulled the governor's son out of the water and saved his life. The students change into dry clothes and find a new entrance to the mine. One of those who passed the exam tries to leave the stuffy room, but the masked man beats him up. This is filmed by another teenager. A key falls out of Lena's pocket right above the bars. Without it, it will not be possible to get into the server room, and the couple decides to get to the anatomy room, where the girl finds a magnet with which you can return the fallen key unnoticed by the guards. One of the guards enters the office. Lena manages to climb up, and Blake is forced to hide behind the table. The masked man notices the teenager and the guy manages to neutralize him, and at the same time change into a suit. The girl tries to get the key, but Blake decides to play a joke and grabs it, scaring Lena a lot. The guy says that they need to split up and go to the Dropout. Meanwhile, Kendra quietly steals the key and ID from the teacher who tricked the girls into sleeping with him. They begin to beat the man to find out where Lena is, to whom he allegedly gave his key. The girl gets to the server room and contacts a hacker classmate to help her hack into the computer. Thanks to her boyfriend, Lena finds out that her sister passed the test by 86%. Lena's result is 98%, and Blake's is only 15%. Blake's deceased girlfriend Ellie was also able to pass the test, but nevertheless her name was given. Journalists get a record of the beating of a teenager, and they tell the whole country about it. Blake manages to get into the screening room, where the guy reports a new instruction from the authorities. None of the guards believed because of what Bacon had to use force, but he fails to cope with several men. Lena is also caught while escaping from the server room, but she managed to send the test results to a classmate, who, in turn, shows them to journalists. Mason before screening asks for confirmation from the governor. A man pressed into a corner by journalists orders to stop the procedure until all test results are reviewed. The students who passed the exam are released, and Blake, who failed the test, is put in a chair. Also, everyone who actually failed the exam is taken from the party and taken to a room with the rest. Guards simultaneously inject all students. All the detainees are finally released from the school. Lena meets with her sister and Kendra. The parents rejoice at the return of their children, while the others mourn those who did not return. The governor, meanwhile, accuses his subordinate Mason King of falsifying the results, hiding behind the death of his son. Sometime later, Blake wakes up with other failing students. They take the elevator down to the factory where the supposedly dead students worked. Blake discovers his girlfriend Ellie and ends the movie. That's all guys for today. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a new video. Thank you for watching.